Today we're going to be looking at some of the most underrated fighters in the UFC. These are the guys that go under the radar. They may have been great before and now people are overlooking them, or maybe they haven't even hit their stride yet. But these fighters all are severely overlooked in the MMA community, and I just believe they're much better than their perception would suggest. So first, the most underrated fighter at flyweight, I got Brandon Raw Dog Royval. Brandon Royval just beat one of the most hot prospects at flyweight in Tatsuro Taira, and it was pretty easy for him. Before that, he kind of got just like out crotch sniffed by Pantoja, but his striking is some of the cleanest, and he has some of the best hands in this division. I don't know what this picture is. It kind of looks like he's not even wearing anything, but Brandon Royval is a problem. Everyone's talking about Kai Kara France right now. Brandon Moreno, Manel Kape, all getting title shots. Brandon Royval is kind of going under the radar. It's just, do I think he'll beat Pantoja? Probably not, but I think he'd beat almost everyone other than Pantoja in the division. I think he beats Kai Kara France. He has high-level grappling threat. He already beat Kai Kara France, and then he has a striking as well. Brandon Moreno, he already beat Moreno. The fact he beat Moreno is crazy. Who else? Manel Kape, easy. Everyone forgets that Kape just got ragdolled by Muhammad Mokaev and outstruck by him. So what do you think Royval's going to do to him? Who else? I think like Joshua Van would give him a tough test. He's got some clean hands, but doesn't have the most pop in his shots. But I still think Royval would be able to grapple him, maybe find a submission or a TKO on the ground. But yeah, I think Royval's got to be the most underrated fighter at flyweight. At bantamweight, I had to go with Figgy, former flyweight. Now he's a bantamweight. He was riding hot up until his loss to Jan. Now no one's really talking about him, but he is a huge problem for this division still. He just lost to one of the most technical fighters, and he dropped Jan. Might be one of the first people to do so. He's got a fight with Corey Sandhagen coming up here soon. I think Sandhagen's going to be in for a rough night. Figgy has some of the best takedowns, some of the best grappling, and nuclear power in his hands. So I don't really know what Corey's game plan is going to be. Corey just got outstruck and out-wrestled by Umar. I think Figgy has even better jiu-jitsu than Umar and more powerful striking. Maybe not as technical or as fast, but the speed's not going to be too far off, given he was a flyweight. And yeah, he's getting up there in age, but Figgy can still take a hell of a shot, and he can sure as hell dish one. So one of the most well-rounded fighters in the UFC, and one of the most technical. I think at bantamweight, he's still a huge problem, and he's just being overlooked right now because he's coming off a loss, but people are forgetting how deep his tool bag is and how great he can be. For featherweight, I was between Bryce Mitchell and Aljamain Sterling, but I had to go with Aljamain Sterling. I think Bryce Mitchell has been receiving a little more love. Not like I've just seen like edits of him and stuff. No one's supporting his podcast, Ark Insanity. I'm just saying like they're supporting his fight style. But that's besides the point. Anyways, Bryce Mitchell's coming off a win. He was on the same card as Aljo, who ended up losing. The only thing that's in between Aljo being considered a number one contender right now, like Masvidal is, and Aljo being where he's at, is one bad judge. Because I think Aljo won that fight. I think Aljo out-grappled Evloev. I think his striking is better. Evloev did land the harder shots, but Aljo has the more technical striking. He's quicker. Strength was pretty even. By the way, Evloev is 100% on gear. There's this thing, everyone thinks like no one on the UFC can be on gear because they test for it, but that couldn't be further from the truth. Like, look at Manel Kape. He has the Israel Adesanya tit. Do you think that just comes out of nowhere? Full-grown man just develops that out of nowhere? Absolutely not. A lot more people in the UFC are juiced than you think. If Evloev was one of them, he's in Russia. USADA doesn't really get that close to him. It's not USADA anymore. I don't know what it's called, so just bear with me. But you can microdose a lot of stuff to go under the radar. Anyways, Sterling beat a roided up Movsar Evloev, I believe, and no one's really giving him credit for it. And then he absolutely ragdolled Calvin Kattar, one of the most dominant performances I've ever seen in the UFC. Like, Calvin Kattar had less strikes landed than Aljamain had takedowns, which it's unreal. Dude, his grappling is so good. If it is 5 rounds, he'd beat Evloev in a rematch. And I think he beats a lot of people above him. Is Ortega above him? He beats Ortega. Who else? Maybe Josh Emmett's above him. He beats Josh Emmett. Yair Rodriguez maybe above him. He beats Yair. I think he can beat Lopez. Easily beat Lopez in a 5-rounder. And the fight with Volk, I think Volk would win just because Volk's defensive grappling is so sound. And obviously he's going to piece up Aljo on the feet. But yeah, I think Aljo beats the majority of these guys at featherweight. And he's truly going under the radar because he just came off a loss. But people are forgetting how good and how technical he really is. At lightweight, I had to go Max Holloway. Again, coming off a loss, But people forget the fight before that. He had probably one of the craziest knockouts we've ever seen in the UFC. On top of that, take the knockout out of the equation, the performance was seamless. Broke the nose in the first, hurt Justin multiple times. Max got hit with one good shot that whole fight. But other than that, he was just piecing Justin Gaethje like none other. And when it comes to talks of title contention, no one's really bringing up Max's name. Some people are even saying Justin Gaethje should get a title shot, Dana White included. That might be the dumbest thing I've ever heard. It's got to be up there. I think we all know how that's going to go. It's kind of a pointless fight to make. And I think you could justify Max Holloway title fight over Justin Gaethje. Max Holloway just schooled him. Why is he not getting the title fight? Who's the last person that schooled Gaethje like that? Let's see. Oliveira. Oliveira took more damage from Gaethje than Max did. And then before that, it would have been Khabib. Even Gaethje landed some good shots on Khabib. So Max probably had the best performance of all time against Justin Gaethje, which is not an easy feat to do, especially when you're just standing. Keep in mind, Charles and Khabib both, the way they beat him was grappling. Max stood with him the whole time, and he schooled him. So I think at lightweight, his speed's going to be a problem. His power is going to be much greater than it was at featherweight. Chin's going to be better, and I think he's going to shock a lot of people when he makes his lightweight return. At welterweight, it's got to be Kamaru Usman. He arguably beat Khamzat Chimaev. First round 10-8 Chimaev, but the last two, I think, went to Usman. So either way, Usman arguably won 2 rounds off a prime Chimaev up a weight class on short notice in a 3-rounder, which he hasn't fought a 3-rounder in ages. Kamaru Usman, he has had the best performance against Chimaev out of anyone in the UFC, and that was on short notice. I kid you not, I truly believe he would beat Bilal Muhammad. I truly believe that. 100%. He has better boxing. You can't find submissions on him. Amazing defensive wrestling. Some of the best of all time. Dude, he would school Bilal Muhammad. Like, the Kamaru Usman versus Bilal Muhammad fight is the one I'd love to see. I think next they're probably going to do Buckley versus Usman. I'd say Usman wins that too. Whether you like it or not, if you really look at the 3rd round with Covington and Buckley, Covington was getting takedowns on Buckley, and Buckley was slowing down. So if Usman fights Buckley in a 5-rounder, it's not going to look good for Buckley. Whatever happens, though, Usman's got to hurry this up. He's been taken, how long has it been? 2023? It's now 2025, and he still has yet to fight since the Chimaev fight. He needs to hurry up because he's not getting any younger, and who knows, when he comes back, he might suck. But I still think he has it, and his skill set's one of the best in the welterweight division. I think he still beats a lot of guys. I mean, look at Luque. He just had a career revival against Temba Garimbo. It was at UFC 310. So I think Usman, I think he can still pull it off. And right now, I don't care if you agree with me or not, I think he beats Bilal. If not, has a really good chance at beating him. If he can do that much to Chimaev, what do you think he's going to do to Bilal? You think Bilal has a better takedown than Khamzat Chimaev? Better striking even? No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. You think he's bigger than Chimaev? No, absolutely not. So I think Usman would beat Bilal, and I don't really care. Is that even a hot take? Like, why would that be a hot take? Could someone please, if anyone disagrees with that, I'd love to hear why, because I think it's the most lukewarm take I could possibly make. But yeah, welterweight, I got Kamaru Usman. Middleweight, this one's gonna be like a big surprise or whatnot. I had to go with Dricus. A lot of people are saying he has no chance against Chimaev and he's going to get mauled in round 1. I think they're kind of forgetting who Dricus du Plessis is. You know, I was thinking about saying Nasruddin Imavov too, but no one's really saying anyone beats Imavov. But people are severely overlooking Dricus and his abilities. I know it looks goofy and it's sloppy, uncoordinated, unathletic, but at a certain point you got to just start to respect the abilities Dricus has. I mean, you can just see how much better he's gotten from the first to the second Strickland fight. I called that DDP would win as well, because I think DDP has a very high fight IQ and he can make adjustments. Strickland always fights the same. So I called that fight from a mile away, and I'm going to tell you right now, Dricus has a much better chance of beating Khamzat Chimaev than the fans are giving him. Don't be surprised if he knocks out Chimaev, TKOs him, or takes him to a decision. Like, dude, I can't believe people are really counting him out after what he's done to Rob, Izzy, Sean, dude, all these guys. He's gotten so much better. Khamzat's only route to victory is not going to be striking. Let's just get that out of the way. He's not going to outstrike Dricus. He'd have to out-grapple him. which I think you could take Dricus down. Dricus doesn't have the best wrestling. His defensive grappling's stellar. Hamzat's not going to be submitting him. Dricus is just strong, dude. Like, he kind of has a Derek Lewis takedown defense where he just stands up. He's just going to shuck off Hamzat, I think. Yeah, I got Dricus for the most underrated fighter at middleweight. At light heavyweight, I had to go with Nikita Krylov. Why is no one talking about Krylov? He has amazing striking, like tons of knockout power. He has solid jiu-jitsu. He's super durable. He has good cardio and pace. And, alright, I'm not going to lie. I'm reading off a script. But, look, he's so sparsely talked about that even I don't know the most about him. But I'll tell you, I've seen a few of his fights, the Span fight. He's known to be overlooking, which everyone in the UFC does. For some reason, I don't think this dude fights a lot, though. Like, it says active in his bio. But, this dude fights like once every decade. To be honest, I think he gives Magomed Ankalaev one of his toughest tests. Him and Rakic both would give... I guess Magomed's already beat Rakic, though. Yeah, dude, I think at this point, Nikita Krylov's the only person that can save us. And maybe Yuri from Magomed ruining the UFC in the division. But Nikita's got to get fighting. I think his next fight should be for a number 1 or number 2 contender spot because he truly is elite. I think he has probably one of the best chances to beat Ankalaev in the light heavyweight division. And then at heavyweight, I think this one's a no-brainer. It's Jilton Almeida. This is one of the few heavyweight prospects that remain that actually has like a possibility of being decent. His most recent loss was Curtis Blades, which was almost kind of a fluke loss. He was ragdolling Curtis Blades, who was known for his amazing wrestling. He was taking Curtis Blades down at will whenever he wanted, like butter. And then Curtis Blades sprawled on a takedown, hammer fist, got him out of there. So good on Blades, you know. But let's be real. Jilton Almeida was mauling him, like making Blades look almost easier than anyone's ever made him look. And then Sergey Spivak, not only did he demonstrate good grappling with it, he got the butterfly guard, reversed Spivak, but then he rocked him on the feet real bad. So not only does he have amazing takedowns and grappling, he has power in his hands. This dude probably is the 3rd best heavyweight on the planet. He's better than Gane. He would smoke Gane easily. He'd take him down, maul him. Obviously, I think Jones and Aspinall would beat him. Maybe. I don't even know that. Like, he's that good. He's a light heavyweight that moved up to heavyweight, so he's not huge for the weight class, but he's pretty fast. His technique's much better than the average heavyweight. And if Tom's leaving his chin in the air on the silver platter like he always does against Almeida, Almeida may just catch him and put him out. And then Jones will never fight him, so I'm not even going to talk about that because Jones is either going to fight Aspinall or retire. So either way, I think Almeida's a huge problem at heavyweight. And once the dust is settled with the Jones-Aspinall fight, he's going to be the number 1 contender in that division, the real number 1 contender. But no one's talking about him because he is a bit of a boring fighter, I'll admit that. But yeah, Jilton Almeida's elite. Those are my picks for the most underrated fighters in the UFC, specifically in each weight class. If you agree or disagree with any of these takes, leave a comment below. I'll make sure to respond to all the comments like I always do. But thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.